Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Donna Bailey. I am 54 years old. I'll be 55 in January, and I am from Cincinnati.
All right, love it. So, first question, what does sexual liberation mean to you personally?
Sexual liberation to me personally means that you have learned and you feel free in your sexual life and the things that you do and who you choose to engage yourself with.
Mhm. And what's a message you learned about your body growing up that you're trying to unlearn?
A lesson that I learned growing up in the 1980s and early 90s. We were talking a little bit about the life of the 00. I was never a 00, even at birth, I don't think. And so, kind of having those ideas and thoughts in your head and being a bigger kid, I think that that had some impact on my self-esteem. But everyone always said you have such a beautiful face, but at the same time, they weren't really, it's kind of like a, what's the word, like a backhanded compliment, right? That
Yep.
you have a beautiful face, you're gorgeous, you have gorgeous hair, but your body is not worthy because of the size that it is, especially in that era when everyone was wanting to be super skinny and tan and blonde, and I was the complete opposite of that. So that is something that I have been learning, is to appreciate my body for what it is at whatever size I am, because I've been many different sizes.
Right. So that kind of makes, I'm going to skip around then. Do you think society allows, and you kind of already talked about this, like, do you think society allows all bodies to be seen as desirable? Why or why not?
I think that's a yes and no answer. I think it depends on who you ask. I think the greater society wants people to be healthy in the middle, to look a certain way, to have a certain body type, because if you're too big, then you're unhealthy. If you're too skinny, you're unhealthy. And so I think that there is this push, hopefully, and it is good to be healthy, but not necessarily accepting of all people, or all body types, but it just depends on your experiences and who you are as a person. Like for myself, I think all body types are important. And having worked at the hospital and knowing that just because you are very thin doesn't mean you're necessarily physically healthy. Right. And so, or if you're really big, it doesn't mean that you're healthy or that you're unhealthy. And so it really matters about what your labs say and kind of how you're taking care of your body, more so than what the number is for your weight or how you appear to other people.
Okay. How has your relationship with your body affected your confidence in dating, relationships, or intimacy?
I think in general, in the general public, normally I'm very outgoing, very extroverted, very just kind of out there and try to be positive and bubbly. I think in dating, I get a little bit more shy, a little bit more self-conscious, a little bit more reserved. And then if I meet someone and I'm currently single, but if I'm in a relationship with someone and I trust them, then I feel like really good about myself. And I think that that can play off of each other. There have been relationships where I haven't felt so great about myself too. So I think it all goes back to, as I've gotten older, just knowing myself, trusting myself, and being with the people that I can trust and that I can feel good with.
What does that look like, trust? When you're talking about intimacy, what does trust look like for you?
it looks like acceptance of who I am physically as I look right now. As it looks like, you know, having things in common and being able to spend time with each other and being able to communicate the things that we want and the things that we need, and just to be able to really have that similar intimate time together.
So when did you first realize your body deserved pleasure, care, or intimacy exactly as it is?
Honestly, I think it's been recently. You know, maybe in the last, because I'm getting up there, maybe in the last like 5 to 10 years, maybe, but really more so. It's a journey, it's a long journey that I've actually been on for myself. And um, I think, I think I've always felt that I deserved it, but I think the letting go and just enjoying it and relaxing, I think that's something that sometimes I'm still working on. And then other times I feel like kind of goes back to that trust issue. The other thing is, you know, in situations where you don't have a partner, and like, what does that look like? And if you're not dating anyone for extended periods of time, or like, how do you provide yourself self-love and how do you feel liberated in that? And I think that that's a big thing, that depending on how you grew up and what your experiences have been, or what your thought process, or like your kind of like religion, or like how you've been brought
Like
up.
your moral code?
Yeah, your moral code or your moral compass. Like, I
Right.
think that guides us to what we believe, right? And I think so for myself, I think that it's so interesting, because I think about back like when I was growing up and being teenagers and stuff, and people would talk about masturbation, and it was like, oh, you know, because you're a teenager, and you know, and especially like back in the 80s and stuff, and you know, or like if you had to be married.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was kind of like a moral thing, or a thing with friends or whatever, that like if you weren't married and you were sleeping with someone, then that was taboo and you shouldn't be having sex outside of marriage. And so I think that the fact that there were situations where I had sex outside of marriage, that kind of shaped things too. So, and then also just, you know, the whole thing about self pleasure and being in a space to feel okay about that too. And I think just as I've gotten older, and circumstances and just life, like that's how life is sometimes. You know, and the double-edged sword, or the double-edged sword about how that's supposed to be something that's natural for guys, and that's something that guys do all the time, you know, is pleasure themselves, but that's, girls aren't supposed to do that.
Right. Because we don't deserve pleasure.
Please.
Right. We're told we don't deserve pleasure. So what is one thing that you wish more people talked about when it comes to sexual wellness and body image?
That all bodies are sexual. Well, not all bodies. There's some people that are not. Some people that choose that, or they don't have those feelings or whatever, but that our bodies are made to have feeling, all kinds of feelings, that our bodies are specifically built to have pleasure in them, on, you know, on our breasts and genital areas. And, you know, they were designed that way. I mean, they're not designed just for reproduction. And so that the reality is that anybody should be able to feel free to express themselves how they want in that area.
So my last question is, I want you to complete the sentence.
Okay.
I feel, we're going to do 2 sentences. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The first one is, I feel the most free in my body when.
I feel the most free in my body when I'm not restricted, meaning I don't have clothes on. No bras, no tight pants, nothing like that. Yeah. And so that's pretty much when I feel the most free.
Okay. And then the last sentence is, I feel most sexy in my body when.
I feel most sexy in my body when I've had a good clean shower, I'm all lotioned up, and I, feel fresh and clean, and I've got like a little nightie on, or, something like that. Or if I have gotten showered and I've had a chance to do my hair and put makeup on and just get dressed up in something really nice and sexy and go out. So there's 2 times really when I feel the most sexy.
I love that. Well, Donna, you make 54 look real good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
As you said, right?
that.
54, right?
Yeah, 54.
Yes, it looks amazing. You look beautiful. And I thank you for sharing your sexual liberation journey with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. We got more coming. Thank you for watching and listening to the Body Representation Series. We believe representation is more than what we see. It's about the stories we hear, the experiences we share, and creating space for people to exist fully and authentically in their bodies. If this conversation resonated with you, make sure you give us a like, share, and subscribe, and join us for more honest conversations about the experiences that shape how we live, love, and show up in our bodies. So until next time, remember, your body, your story, your experience deserves to be represented.